Hi, I'm Desiree Joy Avalo, and welcome to Radiant Joy Yoga and Fitness. Today I'm going to be leading you through a 30-minute workshop on standing yoga poses. Let's talk about the bandhas before we come into our standing posture breakdown. The bandhas are locks. They're engagements that we do with the muscles in the body to help create stability and support in all of our yoga poses. So the first of these locks is Pada Bandha. Pada means feet, so Pada Bandha, foot lock. We're starting here with feet hip distance width apart. In order to come to this Pada Bandha, we're going to lift those toes up, spread them wide, and then release them to the mat. You almost feel like they're gripping. Coming to our weight, we're going to evenly distribute that across all four corners of our foot. Then lifting up our arch. We feel the feet gripping. We're pushing down into the mat. Now the rest of the body is lifting up. We're lifting our calves, lifting our kneecaps, lifting our quads. We're going to activate our glutes. Our next bandha, Mula Bandha, or our root lock, involves the pelvic floor. So you know those muscles that you typically engage when you need to go to the bathroom, but you can't right now, you have to hold it in? Those are the muscles that we're targeting. So we're going to start by squeezing the pelvic floor together, lifting up to engage the pelvic floor. Now moving up, we come to our Uddiyana Bandha, or belly lock. So maybe bringing hands to the belly. You're going to feel those muscles of the abdomen, of the belly, lifting up, pulling together. Almost like you're wearing a corset, and you can feel the muscles right here, a little indentation by your ribs. So let's let that go. Let's do it again. Lifting up, squeezing together. Now our core is nice and stable. Our next lock that we're going to is called Jalandhara Bandha, or throat lock. What we're doing is we're bringing our chin parallel to the floor. You can always imagine that there's a grapefruit or a softball here that we're trying to hold underneath the chin. And there you have it. We have all of our locks engaged. Now let's move right along into our standing postures. The first that we're going to do is Tadasana. Tada means mountain, so Tadasana, mountain pose. So traditionally, mountain pose was taught bringing our feet close in together. We go through our locks, so spreading toes wide, gripping the mat, lifting our arches, lifting up the kneecaps, the quads, activating our glutes. We feel those thighs squeeze together. Pelvic floor engages. Our corset muscles lift up, squeeze together. Lifting shoulders up, and then rolling the shoulder blades down the back, squeezing them together. Arms to the sides, hands open wide, chin parallel to the floor. Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to release out of that. Now I know for a lot of students, having feet close together like that does not make you feel secure or stable. And my first rule of yoga, we want everyone to feel stable, safe, and secure in all of their yoga poses. So let's come into this a different way. We're going to create a wider foot base. So bringing our feet hip distance width apart. Let's go through that again. So lifting the toes, spreading them wide, gripping the mat, lifting arches, turning on calves, lifting our kneecaps, activating our quads and our glutes. Feel those thighs squeeze towards the midline. Pelvic floor comes together, lifts up, activating our belly muscles, lifting up, pulling together, chin parallel to the floor. Rotate those shoulders back and down, hands at the sides. Mountain pose, Tadasana. So our next standing posture we're coming into is Utkatasana. Utka means fierce. So Utkatasana, fierce pose. We might have already heard this pose referred to as chair pose or lightning bolt. So to come into this posture, traditionally, feet would come together, big toes touching, activating our bandhas or locks, spreading toes, lifting arches, activating calves, lifting kneecaps, activating our quads, pelvic floor squeeze together, lift up, belly muscles, abdominals, lift up, squeeze together. Rotating shoulders back and down, chair parallel to the floor. Now, as we come into this posture, we're inhaling, lifting arms up, and then exhaling, bending the knees, sinking back into our hips, like we're sitting in a chair. We want to look down. Can we see our toes in front of our knees? Here we are, fierce pose, Utkatasana. To lift out of this, let's inhale, lifting up, exhale, bring hands down to our sides. You may not feel stable with those feet together, and that's okay. So let's change it up, and I'm going to show you from the side view as well. So this time, I'm bringing my feet hip distance width apart. We're going to go ahead, activate those locks, spread toes wide, evenly distribute the weight, lifting up arches, lifting up all of our muscles, activating quads, glutes, pelvic floor squeezes together, lifts up, belly muscles squeeze together, lift up, shoulders back and down, hands down to our sides. We'll inhale, sweeping arms upward, exhaling, bending the knees, sinking back into our hips. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Let's inhale, lifting up, and we'll come out of that. Our next standing posture we're going into is Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Uttana means forward bending. So Uttanasana, forward bending pose, or forward fold. I'm going to give you a side view of this so you can get a better picture of what we're doing. So coming to our mountain pose, you can choose feet together or feet hip distance width apart, whatever feels best in your body. Of course, activating our muscles and our locks, spreading those toes wide, evenly distributing weight, lifting arches. All of the muscles pull up and activate. Pelvic floor engages. Belly muscles, abdominals squeeze together, lift up. Chin parallel to the floor, shoulder blades back and down. As we come into this, let's inhale first, sweeping arms up, lengthening through the spine. As we exhale, we're swan diving through the hands, hip hinging forward. Hands can fall to the mat, to our shins, to our thighs, wherever they land. Now, while we're here, we're going to inhale. Let's lift the head slightly, extend the spinal column, and then exhale. Drop into our fold. Release the neck and just hang out here. Some instances you might see people crossing the forearms, grabbing opposite arms into what is called a ragdoll. at the beginning of our practice. To exit this posture, let's release our hands, coming back into our regular Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's bend our knees, and we inhale, circle sweeping the arms, coming all the way back. And we'll exhale, bringing hands to heart center. Now you might be worried about touching your toes or coming down that far, and it is okay. We're not competing here. We do not have to touch the floor in this pose. So let me introduce some props for you. We're going to bring our blocks out in front of us this time, and I'll show you another way to come into this posture. So coming back into our Tadasana, mountain pose, feet spread, hip distance width apart, activating our Bandhas. We will inhale, circle sweeping the arms up, lengthening through the spine, and then exhaling, swan diving forward, hip hinging. Maybe this is all the farther that we can come, and that's okay. We can bring our fingertips to our blocks. We're going to push the back of our knees back towards the wall. We'll inhale, lifting up the head, extending the spine, and exhale, hinge forward, releasing into the pose. Make sure the neck is nice and relaxed. Now let's bend those knees. Let's come out of this. Another issue that some of us may have is having a belly that gets in the way, and that's okay too. So as we come into this forward fold, reaching up, hip hinging forward, we might need to adjust our bellies. We can lift that up, adjust as we come into our forward fold. Our next pose is Virabhadrasana I. So Virabhadra is warrior. Virabhadrasana, warrior, warrior one pose. So I'm going to show you from the side view. So we're starting here, feet hip distance width apart. Of course, activating all of our blocks or bandhas, activating our muscles. I'm going to step forward with my right foot. Bending my knee, my left foot's turned out slightly to about a 45-degree angle. My feet are hip distance width apart. Nice bend in our knee. We should be able to see our toes in front of our knee. We can inhale, circle sweeping the arms up. We're squeezing our glutes, activating our abdominals. Nice strong through our legs, pulling our thighs to the midline. Bring hands to heart center. And this is our Virabhadrasana I, warrior one pose. Our Virabhadrasana I, warrior one, with extended arms, we're moving right into our Parsvottonasana, Parsvottonasana, intense side stretch or pyramid pose. So legs are nice and active. All of our locks are turned on. We're going to lengthen through the right leg, reaching up, lengthen through the spine, and we exhale. Let's swan dive the arms, hip hinge forward. Noticing our hands might not be able to come to the floor. That's okay. If we need to, we can use our props, our blocks. Bringing fingertips to our blocks. We can inhale, lengthen through the spine, maybe adjusting belly if we need to, and then exhaling, hip hinging forward. What we're focusing on here is a stretch through our hamstring. So lengthening the hamstring. To come out of this, let's take a nice deep breath in, bend our knee, and inhale, circle sweep coming back up to Virabhadrasana I, or Warrior I. Now our Parsvottonasana, or pyramid pose, might be a really deep stretch for you if you have tight hamstrings, and that's okay. One thing I want to caution you, as you come into a deep stretch like that, we want to stretch till we feel resistance, but we never want to feel pain in our stretches. And if that is the case, ease out of it. So I'm going to come back to that Parsvottonasana, or pyramid pose, one more time. Now, if I come to the edge right here and I'm feeling pain, we might want to put a micro bend in our knee. Unlock the knee so we still feel length in our hamstring, but we're not feeling pain. For my next standing posture, we're going to Prasarita Tadasana. So Prasarita means spread out. We're taking a wide base, about a leg length wide. And then we already know Tadasana means mountain. So Prasarita Tadasana, spread out mountain. Also known as five-pointed star. So spreading the legs out, activating our foot lock, lifting up the muscles, squeezing thighs towards in the midline, activating our glutes, engaging our pelvic floor and belly lock, chin parallel with the floor. We're going to inhale, bringing our arms out to our sides, palms facing down, squeezing our shoulder blades back in together. So Prasarita Tadasana, spread out mountain, or five-pointed star. Now we're flowing to our next posture, Virabhadrasana II, or Warrior II. So in order to do that, we're going to turn our body. I'm going to start here on our right side. We're opening up, bending our knee. I'm going to go ahead, lower my arms for a moment. My left foot is pointed towards the long edge of my mat, and my heel is intersecting the arch of my back foot. My front knee is bent. I should be able to see the toes in front of my knee. So those feet are gripping. We feel like we're tearing the mat in half with the strength of our legs. Our leg muscles, thighs, inner thigh, everything's engaged to help keep us strong and stable in this posture. Our pelvic floor is engaged. Our belly lock is on. Let's bring those arms back out. We're leveling our arms with our shoulders. Go ahead, take a look from front to back. We'll make them nice and level, squeezing shoulder blades together and gazing out over our front fingertips. Take a nice deep breath here together. In, and then maybe bending that knee, maybe deepening the posture. Virabhadrasana II, Warrior II. From our Virabhadrasana II, we're flowing directly into Utthita, Parvsakonasana. So Utthita means extended, Parsva means side, Kona, angle. So Utthita, Parvsakonasana, or extended side angle pose. Coming back to our strong Warrior II. So exhaling, we're hip hinging forward, bringing our hand to the outside of our leg. Coming as far down as you can. And with our top arm, of course, we're pulling that belly button in. We're going to rotate that top arm forward, rotate the shoulder, bringing our arm close to our ear. We're going to open the chest, lift our gaze towards the ceiling. Utthita, Parvsakonasana, extended side ankle pose. To get out of this, we're going to push down through our heel. Inhale, lift back up to our Virabhadrasana II, our Warrior II. Now, coming down that far might feel a little hard for you, and that's okay. Let me run you through it again in a modified version of Utthita Parsvottonasana, or extended side angle pose. So we come back to our Virabhadrasana II, our Warrior II, strong warrior. This time, as we come into our Utthita Parvsakonasana, extended side angle, we're going to bring forearm to our thigh, just resting it there, hinging forward, sweeping the back arm up, and then rotating the arm forward towards our ear, opening the chest, lifting our gaze upwards, lengthening out through the spine. Utthita Parvsakonasana, extended side angle pose. Breathing in, push down through the heel, we're rising back up. We're going to come back to our Virabhadrasana II, our Warrior II, and then finally coming into our Utthita Trikonasana, or extended triangle pose. So coming back to our Virabhadrasana II, Warrior II, nice strong pose. First thing we're doing, let's lengthen through the front leg. Those arms come out. We're going to shift our hips back, reach forward. Let's look back, keeping our gaze over our fingers. And then exhaling, hip hinging forward. Notice, it's okay if we don't come to the ground. We can keep our hand right where it is here on our thigh to the ground, wherever it lands. Or, sorry, shin, not thigh. Now notice this hip. We're stacking our hips, opening our chest, stacking shoulders, turning gaze upwards as we lengthen through the spine. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Let's go ahead, ease out of that, bring our hand to our hip, bend our knee, lift up. That looks like a really hard pose. Don't fret, we've got you covered. We're gonna bring our blocks into this. I'm stacking my blocks on the inside of my right foot, like so, making a little T with them. So coming back into my Virabhadrasana II, Warrior II. Okay, coming into our Utthita Trikonasana, or extended triangle pose, we lengthen through the front leg, shift hips back, reaching forward. Turn our gaze over our back fingertips, and we exhale, hip hinging forward. We can bring our hand or our fingertips to rest on our blocks, lengthening through the spine, opening the chest, stacking shoulders, lifting gaze towards the ceiling. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. So what might these postures look like when you put them all together in a class? Well, let's run through it. I'm starting at the top of my mat, feet distance width apart, in Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhaling, extending arms upwards. Exhaling, bending knees, sinking hips back into Utkatasana, fierce pose. Exhaling, hands come to heart center, hip hinging forward into Uttanasana. Forward fold. Inhaling, bending the knees, circle sweeping up. Bring hands to heart center. I'm going to exhale, stepping back with my right foot. Feet hip distance width apart, knee bent. Coming to my Virabhadrasana I or Warrior I. Inhaling, bringing arms up. Exhaling, lengthening through the leg. Hip hinging forward, swan diving those hands, bringing them to the mat or fingertips to the blocks. Belly comes towards the thigh. We relax the neck. For Parsvottonasana or pyramid pose. Inhaling, bending our knee, circle sweeping the arms, coming back, bringing hands to heart center. I'm going to open up to the long edge of my mat, rearranging my feet so heel intersects the arch, bending my knee, activating my core, arms come out, Warrior II, squeezing shoulder blades together. Exhaling, hip hinging forward, forearm comes to thigh. Rotating shoulder and arm, bringing it close to my ear. For Utthita Parvsakonasana, extended side angle pose. Inhaling, pushing through my heel, reaching back up. Coming to Virabhadrasana II. I'm going to lengthen through my front leg, shift my hips back, reach forward, turn my gaze over my fingertips, and we exhale, hinging forward. Forearm hand comes to shin, to blocks, to the mat, stacking shoulders, opening the chest, lifting this hip for Utthita Trikonasana or triangle pose. Let's exhale, bend the knee, rise back up. Toes come forward. Coming to our 5-pointed star or Prasarita Tadasana. We're going to do this on the opposite side in reverse. We're opening up to the opposite side of my mat. My block travels with me. Finding my strong Warrior II, Virabhadrasana II on the left side. We're going to lengthen through the leg, shift hips back, reach forward, exhale, hinging forward. For Utthita Trikonasana. Inhaling, bending the knee, lifting back up, Virabhadrasana II. Exhaling, hinging forward, forearm comes to the thigh. Inhale, reach up. We're going to rotate that arm towards the ear. For Utthita Parvsakonasana, extended side angle pose. Let's inhale, bring it back up, bend the knee, back to our Virabhadrasana II, Warrior II. Let's lower our hands. We're going to open up, rearrange those legs, facing the short edge of our mat. Our left knee is bent, right toes are turned out at about a 45-degree angle. Maybe shortening our stance if we need to. Coming to Virabhadrasana I or Warrior I. Remember, those feet are hip distance width apart now. Inhaling, circle sweeping arms up, lengthening through our leg. Exhaling, hip hinging forward, swan diving those hands, bringing them to our blocks or to the mat. Belly comes towards the thigh for our pyramid pose. Thank you so much for joining me today in this standing poses workshop. I hope you have found more information to help you feel confident and find joy in your next yoga class. Now please follow me, like this video, subscribe to my channel so you can be up to date on new videos that follow in my Foundations of Yoga workshops. Have a great day.